Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on leechess.org and I am playing a 15-10 game. Just got paired up against you, chess. Okay. Let's go with c4. Not my first time playing against you, chess. Probably the first time though for standard. Alright, let's start with knight c3. Grunfeld or not? Grunfeld it is. Okay, this can turn sharp quickly. I'm considering bishop to g5. This is the move I've played in the past. Some other moves include knight f3, captures. I think even e3 is available. Okay. I'm going to give this a go. Knight e4, bishop back up, knight takes, pawn takes, and black is up a pawn and may actually hang on to it. So, we'll see. If I could play e3 and conveniently recapture with my bishop, I'd be happy about that. This isn't something that black should allow. So, reinforcing this point after e3, I like my position quite a lot. I think the real test is to chop away, give up the pawn, but give up the center pawn for black, and go from there. I believe I've had this position as white against in a blitz game against Vladislav Artemiev. I don't think it went so well. In that game there was a bishop e6 move. Okay, so what am I considering here? For one, maybe e4. Another is to maybe just play knight f3. This pawn is in a pin. And this is a maneuver to maybe try and hunt that pawn. Let's start with knight to f3. I don't think there's a better square for it. So let's go with this least flexible move first. This pawn has more flexibility than the knight. Maybe I squeeze a little bit more out of this guy, playing to e4 instead of e3. I don't know if I want to do this because I'm anticipating some pressure against d4, c5, bishop g7, so reinforcing d4 has its points. What games have we played? 5-0, 1-0, 1-0. Okay. Well, what other move besides moving the e-pawn? Oh, actually, can I not try and pick up the pawn straight away? In fact, if I really wanted to, couldn't I have done it here? I guess so. Let me revisit, or let's look at it for the first time, really. Queen a4 check. What is black's reply? Check. Maybe c6? Yeah. What's c6 though? Here, c6, threatening this. But queen a4, c6. Queen takes pawn, bishop e6. Queen d3. I really don't see anything wrong with scooping this pawn up. I mean, what I would love to do is this and this, but black won't let me scoop that pawn up so easily, so conveniently. I would much rather pick that pawn up with the bishop, but I don't think that will be allowed. b5, bishop e6. Okay, well, let's go for a variation I haven't gone for before in this line. The simple recapture of the pawn, get the material back. So I'm hesitant to do this because I feel my queen will be subjected to some attack. Bishop, possibly, maybe even the knight. After I recaptured on c3, this square, both are holes. This one here is more accessible to the black pieces, you can see. Something like this, a coordinated, pieces coordinating on c4. Knight to d7. Now I do not have to take here just yet. This pawn is still pinned. This knight is pinned. Absolute pin. If I play this. You know what? Maybe I just go with e3. e3, just to reinforce this point. Maybe I can get away with taking on c4 with the bishop even. e3, if a6, I could still take with the bishop. b5 I can take because there's a pin. I don't think I want to get aggressive with the e-pawn. In fact, I think once castled and out of this pin, I don't want to have to tend to knight takes pawn. I could maybe go at a later stage e4. But for now, I'll just stick with e3. So candidate moves for black. If black plays c6, I cannot take because b5 is there. a6 is just imaginary defense of b5 because of the pin. c6 is a different story. So on c6, unpins the knight, prepares b5 or even knight to b6. So on c6, I'll be taking on c4 with the queen. As otherwise, I don't think I'm getting the pawn back. You know, these kind of moves really reinforce c4. It's not going anywhere, and this undermining stuff isn't there in time. Okay. One thing that did cross my mind, instead of E3, I didn't share it yet, was to maybe interfere with castles. Pinpoint E7. Okay. Well, if I take with the bishop now, there's this, and then I should not allow my opponent to pick up the bishop pair so easily. Okay. This pawn is still pinned, so this is the one way to strike at the pawn. Probably the correct way forward, if I had to guess. C5, I do not think I will be capturing. I'm underdeveloped. I still am 2 moves out from castling. Knight B6, I could consider one of these two. I mean, one of these 2 moves has to come for black. As otherwise, if I complete development here, everything is wonderful. Bishop outside the pawn chain, knight rests on a good square, bishop is on a good square, and I could look forward to maybe throwing the A pawn up, applying some pressure on the queen side along the B file. So I think it's a position, black is in a position where timing is very important. It has to strike fast. And I mean, I think C5 and Queen A5 have to come actually. C5 with the idea to take, and then Queen A5 and at least be disruptive to these next 2 moves. So yeah, C5 it is. Okay. Well, how do I parry this idea? Because here takes Queen A5. Have to go here. Or castle by hand. Okay, I'm going to try to find a convenient way to go about things. If I try to rule out Queen A5, I think I may be running into this. Even so, maybe it's the way forward. Is allowing the queen to get to A5 too strong? Rook C1, take, check. Queen block. I don't mind a queen exchange there. Maybe I do. I mean, you could take a pawn, but I don't know if I really fear that so much. In that position, I'd be fearing, let's say rook C1, take, queen A5, queen C3, queen takes, rook takes, and then E5. There's no longer this pin. My center's coming under fire. The position is opening up. And I'm still behind with getting my king castled, even though the queens are off the board. I don't like that the position is, files and diagonals are opening up. Do I have to do this? Knight B6, I'm not really too concerned about. Oh, well, here's another thing. Why am I thinking I have to take with the C pawn? In general, taking towards the center, right? But suppose bishop E2 takes and I take with this pawn. end up with hanging pawn structure. What about rook d1? Rook d1, take, queen here, rook d2. Going into a pin doesn't seem right. Knight here looking to take advantage of the pin. Queen a4, a6. I really want to be able to take like this. I know I'm chewing up a lot of time here. All right, I think I have to just take with this pawn after c takes d4. Not sure what else. This is the move order is important. Queen a5, I castle. Takes. Takes first here, and then queen a5 move. I should revisit this here. Check. Can I really get away with? Would I be alright with that? No. Not really a fan of that. It's possible. Nah. Okay, so I think I'm going to end up playing with a hanging pawn structure. It may be challenged, and soon maybe I'll have an isolated pawn, but that isolated pawn will be passed. So tough to say whether or not it'll be a liability or an asset. Usually not a fan of playing with an isolated pawn. I could see black in this case coordinating well on d5, the square right in front. So let's say here, queen a5, castles here, and after an exchange of e pawn and my c pawn and black's e pawn. There you go. I'd end up with an isolated d pawn. So these can all be exchanged, basically, and I'm left with that guy. Surprised not to see surprised not to see this capture right now. This would drop a pawn, so I mean here I'm not even thinking about. Maybe I could think about that, but what other move is black considering here? I'm a little bit surprised. I feel like you got to go with this. Like here, trying for e5. I think this should be on board. All right. Well, we've both gone into the tank early here. 11 moves. There we go. All right. So this starts to make a whole lot of sense. Coordinating on c4, especially now that I'm working with these two. Now, one thing that I do like is that I have a queen reply that does throw a punch right back. e7. So knight b6, queen c5. Knight b6, queen b4. I'm thinking queen c5. It's definitely getting sharp. queen move? No. This guy's probably a bit uncomfortable to black. Yeah, that would be... If I was black, I'd be thinking this guy is a pest. At least a little bit. It's the one piece exerting pressure on black's side. Something other than knight b6, maybe trying to fianchetto. This has its points to not only get developed, but also form a grip over c4. a6 and a4 is not a defense against b5 because my rook is unprotected. So a6, a4, b5 takes, no time to take back because my rook. And rook takes rook, I'm not on the queen. So a6, what would I do? Probably just castle. A move I cannot do without. And wait to see. Maybe in reply to b5 I could be a little bit annoying. Okay. Okay, well, I think it's time to castle. Well, let's go. This starts to be pretty appealing. Okay. Some interesting moves here. Here come to mind. Queen b4. I think that'll be met with this. Yeah, I prefer black's position here. See this as a liability. Should I play this? Anticipating a rook c8. And my queen could go somewhere else and not have to defend here. I'm gonna go with this first. And rook c8, maybe this or this. Thinking maybe this, counterpunching at that point. And I think I am threatening to take. Queen won't be trapped. I'm on the bishop at the end. Here. And then I am threatening to take. What is black considering? Knight f6 comes to mind. Focusing on this. Knight f6, maybe I back up. And I'm prepared to maybe play c4. Bishop can be unprotected, right? I don't see how you take advantage of it just yet, though. Here. Whoops. Unprotected piece. This move would threaten to win the bishop. But that's just a poor decision. Okay, queen. Ooh. Isn't that a blunder? if I take, well, if I take and then take here, I lose out because of the unprotected pieces. However, suppose I take here right now. And then rook here, I could move my bishop away. It's a big pawn. This guy would become passed. Let me calculate here. Bishop takes e7. I guess it's true that if here and then I back up with my bishop, bishop takes knight, I could exchange queens first and then go here. What am I missing? Here, here. I don't know. I think I just back up with my bishop. I think maybe what was calculated was a queen exchange and then I couldn't do this. Here first, I think is a pawn. Yeah. Here, I'm out of the line of fire. Yeah, I think it was just, I think it was, they only considered first the queen exchange and then this capture. Forgetting that I'm still here. Now this, here. Rook takes bishop, queen takes. Bishop here doesn't win the material back because I have c4. And the fact that there isn't an immediate reply makes me think that that this was in fact a mistake. Queen to c8. So this is a backward pawn, but I am up a pawn. And this one is passed. Where to go with my bishop? Here? Or just maybe even here is an idea. Yeah, I like this, I think. I'm gonna go all the way back. So takes, bishop takes, knight. Still up a pawn, bishop pair. Worse kingside structure, but that shouldn't be compensation. There's even this can be an annoying pin if there's the bishop for knight exchange under 3. Maybe this. It's not going to be easy for me. I mean, black still has very good pieces. I don't know. It's not one of those, well, I have a passed pawn, let's just push it. I create some weaknesses when I do that. These two can certainly come under some heavy fire. Under 2 for black. What am I doing on this? You just exchange queens, bishop b5. Centralize. I gotta go a bit fast, so I think I like this idea. And also that I could pivot here. So let's get my bishop out of the line of fire first of all. Try and be irritating with these bishops, so let's see. Where's this guy going? This knight could be pretty pesky. Here, 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 looking at these squares, maybe even here. There's checks available. Here, the knight's in a pin. One reason I didn't want to go here because I felt that h6 is almost always desirable. New flight square for the king. A reason to have maybe gone to g5 is that it has the idea to quickly transfer towards the queen side if I need it. Here it's pretty much king side committed. So these squares, the bishop's around, you go forward into the pin. Surprising. Preparing this. Yeah, there's going to be some pressure here. Maybe I have to go here, preparing to meet the doubling of the rooks with c4. Here, this. If I play c4, there's a6. Okay, I'm going to say I accomplished at least a little bit with my bishop move, getting out of the threat, and now there's still this pin to resolve. I have this move at some point if there's this doubling up c4. Oh, maybe I end up just losing this pawn. Yikes. Yeah, here, here. Have to play this. Think so. Take here. And this is the one that concerns me. Piling up on c4, what do I do? Maybe this, and then if here I have that. Yeah, okay, there's a way to kick the majors off of this. Under 10 seconds. Right there. Huh. Okay. Interesting move. So this is one idea. This is another. And also stops this. If I go here, knight here is annoying. Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking I have to do this. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes. Bishop takes pawn. I have bishop takes pawn. Here, if knight f4, I could back up. I think I'm going to give this a go. It's not easy. There's pressure. Okay. Yep. This bishop's unprotected. Okay. Yeah. I think I take with the king. Even material at this stage. May have to go here. Yeah, to have this kind of idea available. They opened up their 7th rank. Start with this. Here, you can't take twice because in the end there's a check and I'm on the c5 square. Stopping the knight from getting to f4. There could be a transfer targeting this. I have to go here. Yikes. I think they should focus on f3 now. Yep. Here. Okay. I'm asking for some trouble with this fork. Might need to scoot on over. Yeah, they're setting that up. Okay, I think I want to neutralize and prepare for c5. Wow. Okay. I'm thinking I want to push, actually. Yeah. Maybe I get this at the end. Minor piece ending. Oh, I'm on the rook. Try to take this. Could still take here because they're on my rook. Yeah. Exchange first, and I think this next move's important. Rook here. If I take, there's rook a3. My a-pawn falls. Objectively, I think this should be a draw, but this knight is tricky. I think I'm in a mating net, so maybe I should keep these pieces away from my king so I don't get forked. Endgame. I'll take here. I'm stopping knight f4. Might get checked around for a little bit. Might have to go to the edge. I want to control this knight. Could bring the bishop back. I don't like going into a pin. Maybe it's okay to repeat. Huh. I'll go into a pin. Just for a moment. I could... Okay, yeah, there's that. I think I want to get out of the pin now. Or maybe, cut the king off first. Knight check, king f3. My king should be able to walk. Knight f4, king f3. My bishop's ready to be on a good square. My rook is on a good square, cutting the king off. Knight f4, king f3, rook c3, king here. I could maybe even do this. Knight normally on this f4 square is very good. Okay. No knight f4. Nice move. Okay, I gotta go. Here, maybe? Why here, actually? Why not here, defending the pawn? Yeah. That's a reason not to have gone where I went. I messed up there. That was very foolish. Should I take the knight? I guess. I'll try and give this a go. Now I'm just trying to hold a draw. King f1 instead of king g1. That was silly. Both our kings are cut off. Have I made this too easy for black to advance these pawns? I somehow feel that I shouldn't move my pawn because I want to have this resource available to bail out for a draw. Yeah, so I think I have to just sit here. Yeah, I think this is very important detail. And if the king comes over here, I could try for this, yeah. I could deal with one pawn. It's if this pawn gets rolling, so here I have this. Maybe they should make, no, king move here, I have this. King move here, I have this, and then maybe I could take pawns with check, yeah. I guess we'll go, I don't know. Now maybe here, avoiding possibly a rook check defending here. I want to maybe pick this pawn up somehow. Some variation. The rook has to go, so okay, so I think now is my time to do something with my rook. Here, check, and then here. I think I have to. I probably shouldn't have thought too long on that last one. Check here. If this, I can take. Oh no, that's pushing through. I think he's pushing through. To come over with my Here takes, there's a check. Take my pawn now. What a difference that king move. Yeah, no, this is completely lost. Unfortunate. timing. Okay. I guess here. I'm going to try and create some checking distance. He's going to hide right here. And play it out. Many ways to do it. Could step up, force this, and then weasel around. Ah, man, I'm really regretting my decision to go King G1 and King F1 instead of King G1. There's no reason. I was backing up no matter what. Okay. Yeah. And there are no stalemate tricks. We'll just play it out to mate. Oh, it's not mate yet. Okay. GG. Before I look at it with the engine. Well, I wanna look at this this position right here. Why King F1? This was a nice move. I was starting to feel very confident after if Knight F4 was played. With the king cut off, I felt like I could maybe even do something at some point with my king and bishop against their king. But Knight F6 was nice. I think King G1. And then, I don't know. I'm hanging on to this pawn. Here, bishop to G3. There's no mating nets against my king. We'll have a look at it with the ending. Even if, even though I lost that pawn, I want to see if there was a way to draw it. So opening wise, this is noted as the Stockholm variation. Now let me do an engine evaluation. Somebody already clicked on it. We'll see where we stand with that. Okay. Knight takes, pawn takes. This did seem a little bit weird. Bishop G7. So other moves try to hang on to the pawn. That was what I was familiar with seeing. Bishop G7. I scooped up the pawn. E3, E4. One of those two. Castles. Huh. Oh, so neat. Okay, one of the moves. Well, Queen C4 is what I played, but Queen A3 threatens this. Oh, right. And considering what happened in the game, this idea with Queen A5. Oh, I could go here, pressure on this, and then take here with my bishop. That is a nice improvement. So let's say Knight F6, bishop takes C4. B6 here, and I'm not... I like this move a real lot. Queen A3. How much time did I spend on that one? Only 15 seconds. Huh. Yeah, I didn't appreciate how fast that Queen A5 move hits. But this would make things a bit more smooth. It's not a great advantage for me or anything, but I'm able to have a structure that I enjoy much more. I'm able to recapture on d4 if it comes under fire and not fear Queen A5. Okay, nice thing to note right there. Queen A3 on this move 10. Okay, I took with the queen. Bishop e2. And best is to take with the pawn right now. It happens, and I have to take with the e-pawn or the knight, it says. Okay, yeah, I didn't even give any thought to taking with the knight. That's better. Knight takes. I have this isolated pawn. It's either an isolated pawn or hanging pawns. I went with the hanging pawns. Likes knight b6, b6 in the game. Okay. Where is it looking? What is it looking like with the graph? It's still crunching the numbers. Inaccuracies, mistakes, blunders for each. Still thinking? Should be done. Graph is complete. 4 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 3 blunders by me, 3 inaccuracies, 0, 0 for my opponent. Okay. Yeah, so this was I guess, okay, the mistake that or inaccuracy, I guess. Let me refresh real quick. Is the graph done? Yeah, it is official. The graph is done. Yeah, this is the full graph, because at some point black was completely winning. So it's only considered an inaccuracy, I guess. This move here, Queen C8, or is it? Oh, it's not even considering that an inaccuracy. Surprising. Okay. Blunders a pawn. Knight f6 is better. If I do this, and then this, I'm in trouble. But I could take right away. It's not easy. Oh, you know what? I didn't even consider coming back along this diagonal. Why not? It's not suggesting I do that. But yeah, I guess this is still the correct way to do it. Take away some squares from the rooks. Okay. Exchange queens. Bishop b5. Up a pawn, but it's tricky. Rook e7. c4 is suggested. I didn't like c4 because of here, and then I have bishop to b3. No, I was thinking maybe even this first, and then isn't my bishop going to be kicked? No, I guess I could throw some punches at the rooks first. I like this decision black made, and what I felt was a tough spot for black. Position-wise and even on the clock, right around this stage. I mean, they're under a minute. I had 3 minutes. So I went bishop here, and now it's in black's favor. What should I have done here? Yeah, so c4. c4 right here. Yeah, because in the game, if I went like this right now, there's a reply to take the pawn. But here, there's no pressure on the pawn just yet, and I could, now that there's no pin here, I could start harassing the rooks some with my bishops. Interesting detail. So c4. Okay. c4 now. Knight h5 is strong. Yeah, strong move. Rook fd1. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and we enter this, where it's even, material-wise. Should be a draw. Yeah, I think maybe it's coming right down to that that decision with king f1 instead of king g1. Rook e8 is even there. Oh, I could go check and then here, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, check here, there's this, and if check here, check, block, yeah, this should be a draw. I'd have an easier time in that ending with the superior minor piece, but I don't think that would be enough. And they should be equal. Yeah, very, quickly regretted my decision here. Is this just losing? No, not quite losing, but I have to be super accurate now. Because I went to f1. What was my, where was my head at during that moment? Did I really think it was worthwhile to come over in this direction? I wasn't thinking about going to a light square opposite the knight or anything like that. I mean, I should just be going here, where I watch these 2 points, and my bishop's free to go over wherever it wants next. I had it in my mind that I could just go here next, and it's okay that the rook is there because my bishop would be defending it, but knight to g4 is hitting both. So if I go king here, h5, what would I be doing? I would probably push my pawn. I could maybe end up in some trouble with these pawns inching down. These two, I don't have any fear, really, but add a pawn to the mix. Some mating nets, possibly. Anyhow, this is what I would be shooting for. The king, keep him cut off. Apparently a draw. Okay, let's have a look at this ending where I do in fact lose the pawn. And is it still drawable? It is. a4 is, now at this point I was saying here is not a good idea because I want to have this idea. Is this losing? It is losing. No. It just said -2 for a second. Anyhow, I feel that it is important, so let's go with what I did in the game. King g1. And what am I doing? King f1, king h1. I don't know if I'll really be able to make much sense of which one is better. King here. And still draw. What was the... Oh, right here. Right here I have a draw with the move. Oh! I could go hunting for this pawn like this, now that they're separated. I had it in my mind I wanted to go here for some reason. Or, oh, no. I had in my mind that I only go to a5 after the pawn has moved. But rook somewhere off of the a file. And I could track this pawn down, right? Rook c3, rook here, here, and it would be a drawn ending. Ah. Okay, is this just the losing move now? h5, yeah, I'm not going to be there in time. h4, this is the issue. Right here, I thought that this would save me, but it doesn't because of h3. Just in case I wasn't able to express it during the game. h3, not h2. Although I guess this is still winning for black, but cleanest is the check, and I cannot go here to guard this square. So first the check and then the push, and black is pushing through. Yeah, I needed to go. So in future games, I'm just making mental notes to myself here. Future games, once there's these two ranks between the pawns, this is another opportunity for me to abandon this pawn and just go hunting after the G pawn. How much time did I have right around this stage? We're both under a minute. We've been under a minute for a while in this one. And from here, I guess it is now just losing throughout. I don't see any tricks for me. Black did just fine there, advancing that pawn. Nice pocket for the king. And straight to mate with this one. Okay, well, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video. Oh, I didn't even realize my opponent played this for mate. I was thinking this. So that was a cool end. G2 for mate. Okay, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this one in the comments section below. Hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.